My name is Edward Thomas-Herrera.
And what are you arguing for?
I'm arguing for lamb.
And are you ready?
Yeah.
Great. Kevin, are you ready?
Yeah.
So, Red Club audience with the same enthusiasm. Are you ready? Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Edward for lamb in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Old Testament God looks favorably upon his chosen people whenever they sacrifice lambs. Satan expects a couple of babies slaughtered during a black mass. Suddenly, everyone's got a problem. Babies are little humans. They grow up to make positive contributions to society as marketing consultants and fitness influencers and nail techs. Lambs are little sheep. They're incapable of rational thought, and they smell like hot, dirty sweaters left out in the rain. My husband is a proud Polish American. For Easter brunch, he'll decorate the table with a lamb sculpted out of butter. It's a Slavic tradition. He doesn't use a mold. Molds are for pussies. As finishing touches, he'll give the butter lamb 2 peppercorns for eyes and tie a thin blue ribbon around its neck. Then he'll set the entire thing on a bed of fresh chives from our garden so it resembles a cute little baby sheep just chillaxing on the grass before it's hauled away to have its throat slit on a blood-stained altar. Picturing a lamb awaiting its doom makes it easier to justify stabbing it with your butter knife and spreading its buttery backside on a slice of freshly baked rye. It helps to make a cartoonish screaming sound every time you do it. What better way to celebrate the glory of the risen Christ? I always thought it was super weird that legendary ventriloquist Sheri Lewis named her most famous sock puppet creation Lamb Chop. She took one look at those oversized black eyelashes, and her first thought wasn't cuddly or charming. Her first thought was Sunday night dinner. Yeah. Imagine if the tables were turned and Lamb Chop was the legendary ventriloquist. She'd take one look at Sheri Lewis's big white teeth and curly blonde orange bob and think, flesh-eating monster. If Old Testament God prefers lamb sacrifices and Satan prefers human baby sacrifices, it stands to reason that sheep God prefers babies and sheep Satan prefers lambs. Ipso facto, Old Testament God and sheep Satan have identical tastes. None of this makes me anti-religion. I am not anti-religion. I am pro-baby sacrifice. Agnus Dei qui tollis peccata mundi miserere nobis. Christians never call Jesus the sheep of God. If it's not already obvious, I work for a church. No, I'm not an official spokesperson for the Episcopalian Diocese of Chicago. One time, while vacationing in Poland, my husband ordered golonka barania for lunch. For those of you who don't speak Polish cuisine, that's lamb shank. It arrived at our table covered in potatoes and gravy. He gave me one bite, and it was delicious. In that moment, it dawned upon me that I could never be a vegetarian because I enjoy eating freshly roasted babies. It's a Slavic tradition. That and vegetarianism is for pussies. Thinking about sheep God and sheep Satan gets me to thinking about what sheep Jesus would look like. And then I recall that highly disturbing scene from Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain, in which the protagonist witnesses a religious procession of penitents carrying dozens and dozens of butchered lambs nailed to crucifixes, and I want to set my memory on fire and douse the flames with bleach. That reference might be too obscure for some, but that's why Old Testament God put Google on our phones. There's a highly disturbing video on YouTube. It bears the agrammatical title, Sheri Lewis Curse Along with Lamb Chop. Not sure which of those 2 sentences is less surprising, that there's a highly disturbing video on YouTube or there's an agrammatical title. Sheri Lewis, Curse Along with Lamb Chop, documents a 1970s stage appearance by Sheri Lewis and Lamb Chop, which culminates in a musical duet about food, during which Ms. Lewis sings of eating leg of lamb. So pink and rare, to quote her own ghoulish lyrics. Lamb Chop is visibly perturbed, as is evidenced by the fact that her oversized black eyelashes clench into a fist. Would you really eat a friend, Lamb Chop asks, her voice quivering in terror. I would, Ms. Lewis responds, gleefully asserting her privileged dominance over both the animal and sock puppet kingdoms. One has to wonder what being friends with Sheri Lewis must have really been like. Thank you.